If not, we're gonna find out.
Woo!
Aha!
Good morning.
We are jammed here.
Woo! I'm feeling Norwegian.
Hey,
You are. You're like
listen.
very Scandinavian.
There's no rain. It's gonna stop this show today. Yeah. Woo! Come on, to the right. To the right. Good morning, everyone. I'm back. Thank you.
Woo!
Welcome to Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Cheers.
This is our web podcast show.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know. And let's welcome our third or fourth co-host. He should be here already.
Where is he? I don't
I have
see
not
him.
seen
Oh,
him.
there he is.
There, the
There he is.
sunshine.
Oh,
I
I
know.
I guess we're going jacketless today. Is that
Yeah,
what's
that-
going on?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
That yellow sweatshirt was just like
We need
blotting,
that sunshine.
blotting my eyes out.
I'm
could
glad
barely
I'm
see.
glad you noticed it.
I love it. No, I think it's gorgeous.
I'm taking media hints from Jenny.
Okay.
You know, Jenny always sits on the end because she wants to stand out.
Yeah.
So
Woo.
I figure if I could wear something
She ended up
to
getting
bring the
my
attention-
spot.
That's right. Yeah, there was. You should have been here. There was a little cat fight in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was like.
Oh wow.
As soon as Mama Ruth came in, I said, "Girl, you
Yeah.
better move." I ain't moving.
But
But
here's
you know
the
what?
thing. I mean, I'm hiding your fashion faux pas.
So you're
All right,
right.
But then I decided to stuck to you, right? So we're stuck now.
Yeah,
Ain't
no, I have
nobody.
to sit here.
You are providing a public service.
I'm a team player. I'm a true team player. Plus,
You know what?
can't
She
hide leather
agreed.
pants like this. I mean, these
She-
are radically
Oh,
sexy.
God,
I mean,
yeah.
You should not. You should
Yeah.
never hide your leather pants.
Hey, and besides, we decided to beat Texas against whoever stands out
Oh
there.
yeah.
The land of the fruits and the nuts right over there in the tinfoil house.
Where's my wooden steak and garlic?
I don't know, but listen to this.
Oh. All right.
Woo!
Well,
We got it going in here.
Listen,
I'm
welcome,
outnumbered.
welcome to Coffee and
Always
Foundation.
the
We've
way.
got new music. We've got.
I like that music.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
You're my little
Happy,
sunshine.
happy faces.
Yes,
Happy faces.
And a scar.
A scar. Looks like a Norwegian
A
sail
Thanksgiving scar.
fisherman or something like that. I like it.
And we just love your hat, though.
Oh
It
yeah.
helps that sunshine
That's
shine
right.
better.
It's like a solar panel for Christian.
Woo!
All right.
Pardon.
Alexa, stop. Thank you. Welcome to Coffee and Ponduce. I'm Christian Cano. Today is September. September.
Hello.
Oh.
Welcome to Coffee and Ponduce. I'm Christian Cano. Today is November 27th. It is the day before Thanksgiving,
Woo.
the busiest travel holiday of the year. I think like 13 million people will be flying and driving. I forgot the number.
50.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what?
It's like
It probably
100.
will change because last year also was a little bit low. Also,
Yeah.
you know, it used to be
Yeah,
the
they said
number
that
one.
travel will be up this year,
Mhm.
and
hope
but there's
so.
also a storm coming in, so people are going to get stranded.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't,
There are people already stranded in some of the airports. Yes.
Yeah. Well, listen. Welcome. This is our 50th show.
Whoa.
In 2 weeks, we'll have our 1-year show, and I know we have a special guest going to be here on December 16th.
Oh, the 11th, you mean?
It was the 11th. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to tell us who that person is, or wait?
Yeah, right now
Okay.
we've scheduled one of the Libertarian Party presidential candidates.
We actually are going to have a person who is running for president of the United States.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
little show.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
You know, they got to get through the primary in
Yeah,
North
that's right, that's
Carolina,
right,
and
that's
so
right.
and so it's Jacob Hornberger from the
Woo.
Future Freedom Foundation, and he's going to be here, and he wants to win the North Carolina primary. So no
Yes,
no other
desirable.
candidates have
Yeah.
called us up, but maybe they will after this.
Yeah, who knows? We've got a lot of people that
Yeah.
are going to be competing. We're one of the swing states,
Yeah.
so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yep.
Listen, we also have another guest who we hope is going to be calling in today from Mexico City, who's going to update us on what's going on in Mexico City, since our target audience is Latinx English-speaking viewers and allies. So we hope that will call in, and Jenny's going to be taking the call. We've got the mic on the phone, so we hope that works. And
Awesome.
we got a lot of wonderful things going on. But the reason I wore this shirt, it's from Manolo's Bakery. It's
Gotta give me one of
hoodie.
those.
It is this time of year. What people I think forget is the work that immigrants do to make these holidays happen.
Correct.
I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but here in North Carolina, close to the Virginia border, is the second largest tree farming in America, Christmas tree farming. And they produce almost all the Christmas trees, the wreaths, the things that happen in really the East Coast. I think Portland or the Oregon area is the number one tree farming area. And about 90% of the workers are immigrant workers. Many of them, I guess they're seasonal workers, migrant workers. And without them, we would not be able to celebrate the type of holidays that we have with the amount of trees. And actually, there was an article that was done, and Manolo actually delivers food to them.
Yes.
And so, you know, a lot of things occur, and so I wore this just kind of maybe, I guess it's my button, so I kind of went around our rules. So we're going to start to our right, because now I have to say they are always right, because
You
now
got
they're going to
that
compete
right.
for the power, right? So I can share, go around, tell us who you are, tell us a button, and then we'll get started.
Well, hi, I'm Jenny Gunn, LGBT activist. I'm not wearing any of my buttons today. I failed you, Tara. Sorry, but I normally wear my Tara Long for Board of County Commissioner at large, and I usually wear my National Organization of Women's button because I'm a board member there.
Awesome. But you still keep them in your heart, right?
They're always in my heart and in my mind.
That's what it matters. Me neither. I
My
didn't
money
bring
on my
one.
mind.
Mine are in the car.
Always on
I
my
support
mind.
Tara Long as
That's your
well.
line.
I support all of our candidates that are for the people. My button, my imaginary button today, will be always the gun sense. We are at 99 or 91 homicides here, just in our city.
100.
We had another one?
We had 100 day before yesterday.
Oh Lord.
I was gonna go with
Okay.
it. Yeah. Very unfortunate.
Because I know we had a shooting in East Charlotte, so yeah, we gotta be a little bit more smart.
Yes.
And by the way, my name is Ruth Perez. I'm a community advocate. I'm a public servant. Whatever I can do to help, always contact me, and you can count on me. Next.
I'm Jeff Scott, hombre del pueblo, man about
You're thrown
town.
by Japanese lip syncing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm wearing my favorite button today, which is the no bullshit button. So it's
Hey.
bullshit with a big no
I
through
love
it.
it.
And
You
so I'm wearing the button for everybody today. This is going to be a no bullshit episode.
Well, that'll be a
Coffee
first one
Industry.
then.
Sorry,
New
you got
tradition.
to start somewhere. Episode 50.
I
is a
thought
good-
maybe
is a good
that
way to
was
start.
your Donald Trump button because
You scare one of our signs.
Okay.
our set just fell apart. But we're just gonna walk. We're gonna work through it. We're gonna work through it. Everyone just maintain professionalism.
Is that a coincidence?
When are we going to
there are
maintain that
there are
standard?
No coincidence.
There are no coincidences.
I agree with that.
That sign following, that is a sign. Where is my
Which sign was
Where
it?
is my
The
tinfoil
country of the
hat?
party side. So anywho, so Donald Trump yesterday said
Hilarious.
Yeah.
the word bullshit.
That what? Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was on the news all day today. That
Oh,
he
great.
said something unpresidential, which is not. All right, that's not going to be on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that was.
He
that
said something unpresidential?
Go figure.
When does he say something sounding presidential?
That's what I was gonna
mean,
say.
I mean, I can think about the campaign when he made fun of the special needs reporter. I'm like, I mean, I can't even picture somebody like Reagan doing something like that. It's a shock.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, we're in a new world now.
We
guess.
just need a monarch who controls themselves.
Hey,
a
did you see
little
that ruling? The federal judge told him that presidents are not kings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where have you been? You're
Well,
you're like our
we-
political junkie. You've been actually like do normal stuff.
This-
probably.
Yeah,
I just-
like
Normal.
I've
No,
been-
I don't think he should be using that cup
No, I've
anymore.
been,
Oh,
yeah. Well, I binged on the third episode of The Crown when it came out on
Okay.
Netflix.
Amazon?
So yeah, even though I'm an anti-monarchist,
yes.
and I don't like the whole soap opera aspect of it. The Crown is really a terrific series. It was written by British author Peter Morgan, and it's really quite good. Stays close to the history of what went on, and I just think it's very powerful.
Yeah,
So-
there's a
so
lot
I
of
recommend
good stuff to get binging on. Listen,
Yeah.
let's salute to Coffee and Pondusi. We want to thank our
Nice.
sponsor, Manolo's Bakery on Central Avenue. If you have not put your tamale order in for the holidays, you're too late for tomorrow.
Oh,
But
God.
you can probably go to his shop today and pick up some tamales. Usually they make extra. My order, we got 2 dozen orders that,
They're open
we're
tomorrow?
I don't know if they're open
Yeah.
tomorrow, but we're picking up our tamales today for Thanksgiving, and then we'll put our order in. But you can put your order in now for Christmas and the holidays, or Festivus, or all the other
Hanukkah.
holidays that are now between now and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. I already
Awesome.
told someone that I celebrate holiday season from Halloween to Fat Tuesday. That's my holiday season.
I think you started at the beginning of the NFL season.
That's right.
Preseason.
Girl, you know
I mean,
me.
let's be realistic. Texting this guy on Sunday afternoon
Don't
could
ever
get
do
you
that.
executed.
Yep.
Tara makes that mistake a lot. I'm like,
Yep.
Tara, no, don't go into the light. Leave it alone. Don't touch the 2-headed snake. No.
Yep.
Get out of the pool.
That's right.
The only way you can find him is come and visit him, but
That's
don't
right.
talk to him while
Exactly.
the game's on.
RSS, the sports bar.
That is
So,
not a
everyone,
sticky part.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving
Well,
to
we'll be
everyone.
talking about
Yep.
Thanksgiving. Everyone help yourselves to some coffee pondusi. There's also some leftover pumpkin bagel on underneath it if you want
I
that.
don't
I
see
just
no
needed
pumpkin
that. It's
bagel.
on the
Boy,
bottom.
week
But everything else, I think
leftover
that's the one you
pumpkin
want.
I want that
bagel.
donut.
You like that one over there,
Yeah,
don't
right
you?
there.
The one with the cheese is the one you like, right?
Yeah,
All right.
he
Oh
got
yeah,
it.
you got it.
He got it.
I know you like that one. So we'll
you,
see if we're going to
Thomas.
get the call from a gentleman that we are aware of. He's a reporter, a journalist from Mexico City who's been calling us to
Yeah,
update
split
us. But what
You
we
want
wanted to
Snap
talk
that
about.
in half.
No, you
Oh
can't.
yeah.
This is more important than you talking
Exactly.
just go on. Just
Keep
mind your own
going, keep going,
business.
keep going.
You gotta have your priorities.
They're gonna split
Exactly.
us up. You know this.
We-
That's gonna be mandatory. That one of us is gonna have to show our less than presentable side over there, and one of us is gonna have to bite the bullet and sit next to Jeff. I mean, we're desperate for guests.
We're gonna.
We need a Jeff buffer.
Our main topic today is to talk about the passage of the PACT Act, P-A-C-T Act, and we'll
Okay.
explain what that is. But before the journalist calls us from Mexico City, I wanted to talk about some things that have been going on in the news. I want to call it the daily dab.
Daily dab.
The
I don't know.
dab.
You're the
The
crazy
dab.
There's
The
some
dab.
typo for that kind of money.
The dirt.
The daily
The
dirt.
dirt.
Here's the daily dirt. So,
How about the daily grind? Since we are a coffee themed show.
oh, that's God,
Ooh.
you're so smart.
That's why they
You're
got me
smart,
around. I'm a
you're
reoccurring
pretty,
guest for that reason.
you're-
I'm so pretty.
All right,
Thank
Jenny, can you give us some noise?
Mmm.
All right,
What kind of noise do you want?
Perfect. All right, here we go. The daily grind.
The daily grind.
Here are the headlines going on around the country.
Okay.
Americans are dying at a younger age.
Well, that's exciting than cheering for the holiday.
We're
Yeah,
dying
so-
faster than any other wealthy country. A new study says.
Okay, so do you want to talk about demographics? Because a lot of the people
Yeah.
that predicted many decades ago that the world was going to come to an end due to
Yeah.
the population's
Overpopulation.
impact on resources and things like that. Actually, I think the problem is really the opposite.
Yeah.
I do think that we have mortality is rising. More people are dying early. We know
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
suicides. We know there's economic.
Well, apparently they're dying
there's
at a younger age.
that's right.
So
So we do have low birth rates.
Yes.
We don't have high replacement rates.
That's true.
We actually don't have enough immigrants.
exactly.
So this is a problem.
We're gonna have a workforce shortage here in
Yeah.
the next couple of years. And
So-
actually,
Europe and
We
other
actually already
countries.
do.
Yeah, Europe and other countries are requesting
Yeah.
immigrants down there.
yeah.
Yeah,
At a
Canada.
easier, yeah, at a
Canada.
easier rate.
I think earlier this year or last year, they said in 2019 and 2020 that they were gonna, especially for manufacturing,
Mhm.
for labor, they were gonna approve more requests for up to 300,000 applications
Oh, wow.
in Canada.
Wow.
Because they have they
Sure.
are a developed nation like
Mhm.
we are. They do have an aging population
Mm-hmm.
because they have a huge baby boom population, and they don't have the bodies to make the society move. Like we're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about immigrant
Exactly.
hands
Yeah.
Mhm.
doing the things things my grandparents did as European immigrants that worked in the Levi's plant, you know, making Levi's jeans and doing all the things that you typically see with first generation Americans.
So our daily grind section was supposed to be a speed round.
Oh,
we blew that. When do we ever do anything fast here? I mean like
Eat.
we're low and slow.
Yeah.
We can go into the trough.
So that was in the news. Here's another one that was in the news, which was very unfortunate. Charlotte has reached its 100th death. Murder.
Wow.
Murder.
A young man was shot, and I guess he was in critical condition out the university area and was pronounced dead, I think, yesterday or Monday, I believe. So we have now reached 100 murders. It's the first time since 1986, I think, or 96, one of those years.
so one of the I have seen some of the breakdowns of the shootings that City Councilman Driggs brought to his meeting. So I would like to see, you know, the latest breakdown. But one of the things I would like to understand a little more is how many of the people knew the victims, or the victims.
36.
Okay, so we know
There was. I
a
saw.
third of them.
I
A
saw.
third of them are-
Moms Demand Action published something
Okay.
about it, and I think that the Observer did a story, and they broke it down. Out of the 136 of them were arguments from someone they knew.
Okay.
And then it broke down how many
So it
were
was personal
stabbings.
affairs. Like
think
So
so.
Okay.
roughly 2/3 of them are anonymous based on
drive-bys.
Well, I don't know that.
Or they might be some other form of crime other than in addition
It
to
could be
murder or just
robbery.
And maybe more. I'm not sure.
robbery,
Yeah.
drive-bys. I know a
Domestic
couple of
violence.
them. Domestic violence.
Out of curiosity, in the last 10, 12 years in Charlotte, what is the average amount of murders per year? I mean, is there a stat on that? Is it 50, 60?
Great question. Maybe we should have a show on that when we have one of these.
Definitely.
Well, the important thing also about the number is to scale it to the population, right?
Yes.
Correct. The per capita
That's right.
murder rate.
Because
Yeah.
we are a international city. Next article, and I'm not paying for the morning news, so all these pop-ups keep popping up. For the first time ever, the federal government has sued a company in Dallas, in Plano, Texas, for hiring undocumented workers. The federal government has, because of all the backlash, are now going to start to go after the employers that abuse. Because really, what happens is a lot of these employers hire these undocumented workers in the
Take advantage
meatpacking
of them.
industry, and then they don't pay them. They call. There's a secret mystery call to come and raid their place,
Yep.
so they don't have to pay
They
them.
got tired of them. Yep.
Yeah, and so now the federal government, or at least this one, they were so blatant. Half of their employees, of 200 of their 400 employees, were undocumented,
Wow.
and they raided them twice. And now they have sued them, and so it'd be interesting if they, 1/3 of our construction workers downtown are undocumented.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting why I'm not saying we should raid or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying is that we got to start holding the employers responsible because they're really.
Well, see, it's a
taking
little
advantage.
link chain because
Yeah.
anyone can work with a federal tax ID
Yes, an
number.
EIN number.
So if
But
you
they're
get a
contract
subcontract
Mhm.
and you're undocumented, but you have a way how to report that money,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have, the employer doesn't have to go through none of
That's
the other
right.
stuff.
Right.
You can still
Yep.
perform your job and
Mhm.
you're be responsible for your
Yeah,
taxes.
so that's you're right. That's a good point to
Yeah.
Ruth, because the people they're contract workers, they're independent contractors. These people that are being raided, they're actually employees. They're paying into the healthcare system. They're not getting any benefit, where they can't really get any.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They're-
the ones that are
Yeah.
documented and
Yes.
presumably U.S. citizens have legal recourse.
Yes.
Right. If you don't have documentation and you're working on kind of a sketchy contract,
Sure.
you don't have legal recourse,
No.
which is a big problem,
Exactly.
right? So I don't know why an employer, has got to have some kind of business license, some kind of business insurance, and things like that, to have legal recourse against these phony
Folks.
raids, right?
Sure. Yeah.
If they're coming in and upsetting their contracts with the legal workers,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. Next topic. CNN poll came out Monday. New poll is not good news for Donald Trump on impeachment. 50% of Americans still believe in impeachment and removal. It has not changed since September. And the big number, the reason this is so important is because it hasn't changed. It has not gone below 50%. People were wondering if people were tired of the impeachment or whatever. 50%, 43% say no, 50% say yes. So that's pretty big news that still 50% are above. To put it in perspective, even though it's not the same type of situation, Clinton, when he was being impeached, only 36% of people believed in his impeachment, and only 27% believed in Nixon's impeachment. So more than half the country want Trump out. So I guess what I'm reading from this, I know it's going to continue, is what is occurring, whether he gets impeached or not. I don't think he's going to be removed.
But
People
see,
want him out.
I would like to know how long is it going to take? I mean,
Yeah.
how long is going to take the impeachment to continue, and then
Sure.
his time will come up.
Yeah.
Now, if he doesn't get reelected, you know,
That's
what's
what I
going to
think's
happen
gonna
after that?
Well, I think he's going to beat this thing. I think he's going to win in a landslide.
Yeah.
I think Democrats are going to be crying tears for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
And as a person who is
Yeah.
supporting
I
a
believe that
candidate
too.
who is running against Trump,
Yeah.
who's never supported Trump,
Yeah.
but does not have what I call Trump derangement syndrome,
Yeah.
I believe he's going to beat this. I believe that the Democrats have really slipped on a
Jenny,
big
30,
banana
you have a
peel.
rebuttal in 30 seconds?
Oh, I think they got plenty of smoking guns.
So do
There's
I.
a bunch more coming.
I
out.
think if you look at the data,
I mean, it's not
this
pretty.
this is a very unusual for Democrats.
Mhm.
We've always, everyone knows that Republicans vote because they're angry.
Yeah.
Democrats vote because they're inspired. This is the first time ever that you're going to have Democrats who are going to vote because they're also angry. And Democrats have tied into saying that it's strategic. There are more people who hate Trump than like him. And when Hillary ran against Trump, people hated Trump, but it wasn't above 50%. And so people said, I don't like Trump, I don't like Hillary, but he's the worst, best of the worst. Now there are more people that hate him. They won't even give him a chance now. So I do think we're going to see, I think it's going to be a landslide.
I think it's
I
a
hope so.
landslide for Trump.
Now
Okay,
let's
we'll see.
let's think about if he doesn't win.
Yeah, if he doesn't win, I don't
Will
think
the
he will.
impeachment continue?
No,
Will he be
No, the Senate will
they
not
can't.
support it. They
Yeah.
need.
See,
they
no
need-
one's
they
gonna
need-
do
They
anything
need
about him.
2/3.
Well,
they
I
need,
do
they
think-
need like 10,
I do think
15 Republicans at least.
Yeah, I do think the state of New York is still going to go after him.
I will
Once he's
support
out of
that.
office.
New York, yeah, once he's out of
I will
office.
support
I
that.
think
Once
him
he's
and
out
his
of the
family are
office,
some
he needs
serious
to be
problems.
convicted.
But that is
Yeah.
a radical question. Is at some point are we going to change the laws
Yeah.
and allow a president to be civilly sued
Yeah.
or criminally sued while in
Mhm.
office?
I think that's
And I think it's going to be part of the campaign reform dialogue that we desperately need
sure.
for all parties, upstart parties like the Libertarian Party and the Green
Mhm.
Party, that are getting shut out of the process.
Sure.
You know, that there is some legitimate barriers for a third party to exist in this country, which, as much as I don't care for the Libertarian Party, that there's a lot of squirmy things that they talk about. They also bring some good dialogue to the table, and third parties. It just like with Ross Perot brought some like in the
That
90s,
giant that giant second sound.
yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to fix that now. We're just gonna have to fix it right now. And but he brought some things to the table and brought some things to light, and he caused George Bush to lose. He created some issues, and right now we're not getting that from the third parties. We're not getting. They're not making enough of an impact, and I think a lot of it's institutional issues.
That's true.
And that is true, but I mean, do you think what makes it better for Democrats? What are they doing as well? Because they're aligning more. I see them align more to Republicans than being themselves.
Go
They're fighting.
Bloomberg.
So third parties force us to be a better party. I think what we got out of it for a while is we got better governance from both parties. I think you saw some radical shifts in the '90s where you saw the parties do a little better.
Yep.
We lowered our defense spending. We had a budget surplus in the '90s.
But that
Our
was in the
economy
90s.
boomed. And I think it was really because of Ross Perot.
Sure.
If you think about the radical changes that we made in the 90s, we governed different then than we are right now. And I really think when you have a powerful third party or even a fourth party where you're shaking it up like you see in a lot of European democracies, where there's lots of influx of ideas. I think you need term limits in the Congress.
Oh, yes.
I think you need campaign finance reform, and I think you need ways for third, fourth, and fifth parties in this country to legitimately put ideals on the. And I think we need to get rid of the call.
Yeah, but it's just not clear to me that the impeachment process is going on now, even though many libertarians are on board with that,
Right.
and some Greens are on board with that. Whether that's going to
Make it
affect the
happen.
changes that you're talking about for more open debates, for example, or just being able to raise money as a third party to be able to compete with the big money of the RNC and the DNC.
Well, and I think if you take money out of politics, if there
Which is not
is-
going to happen.
I
I just
know-
can't see how that's ever going to happen.
It's but I think when you start having the ability for other parties to be involved and voice at the table, it can force some of that change over time.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that based on the current process, what's
Correct,
going on,
yeah.
the Schiff Committee and all these, that it's going to Nadler and the Judiciary Committee, and then it's gonna, if it happens in the Senate, it's just gonna be even more of a circus than it's been so far. Is that really going to make those changes? And I don't think so. I think this is really all about, people trying to take advantage of this anger toward Trump to win, so that they can kick him out at the midterm to weaken him. So you're quoting polls that are saying people are against him, but all the best, political models are talking about the economy and jobs and stuff like that, and all that predicts Trump in a landslide. I'm not saying that's my personal prediction.
No,
I'm
what
saying,
I'm-
but
That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, but that's what we're seeing.
Oh, yeah.
That he's satisfying his base.
But this is
that's not true.
But
That's not true at all.
What I'm going to say, then we'll move on to the next topic, is that what's the impeachment process is occurring because the Democratic base wants it. So
Right.
all the Democrats are doing is exactly what Trump is doing. The difference is we're not used to Democrats doing that. And so this is the first time that I have seen in a long time that Democrats are actually doing what and we talk about this a lot in elections also. Democrats are only going to be able to win in swing districts if we start running like Republicans.
Correct.
You're not going to get the Republican vote. You're not going to get the Trump vote. Forget about him. I don't care about what Jeff says. I'm not going to get his vote. But I do need my base. As long as I can get my base solid, my goal is to hope that they hate the other person more than they hate me. And at this level, at this juncture, the candidates that are tied to Trump, like Dan Bishop, tied to Trump, if you're going to run against Dan Bishop, run against Trump. You're not going to win anybody who's running for like Dan Bishop.
Correct.
So what you have to hope is that people hate Trump more than they hate you. And the polling says that they do.
And you're missing one thing in there, and now you have to run your race.
Yes.
Just in marketing in general, like if you look at the Obama coalition, how Obama won 2 terms.
But you can't run like Obama anymore.
But
that's Jenny. This is where I think the difference is, and that's one of the reasons why people are so concerned about the national candidates, is because the centralists or the blue dogs that are criticizing Bernie and Warren and even Gillibreth, or what's her name, your lady you like from Hawaii.
Tulsi Gabbard.
The reason they don't like it because they're saying
homophobe.
What they're saying. What they're.
No, I mean, no. Her and her family.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this right here. That woman murdered gay people.
Okay.
Her family murdered gay people. They ran a gay conversion concentration camp in Hawaii. It was so bad that her mom tried to run for state school board, and the state school board of Hawaii rejected her mom.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. So, I mean, when
running
you
for
roll your eyes
president?
about homophobe, when you run a gay conversion bill, you are guilty of murder. It drives up the suicide and the after effect of that. It is brutal. It's what gets people like me killed.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
horseshit.
Well,
No, if you want to wear the no bullshit deal,
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
She
So
should
she-
not be able to run for president.
Because that's what her parents did.
She was involved with it too.
At what age?
She was an adult. She was an adult, and she did not renounce her homophobia until like 2012, 2013, just a few years ago. She's never made amends for it. She's never apologized for it.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say.
with that, I understand what you're saying. With that logic, should we say that Biden is also a murderer because he has not denounced slavery?
Yeah,
Well then, as long
I'm
as
good with
as
that.
long as
I'm
that's
good with
fair.
that. I don't think
Yeah.
Biden should be running either.
Okay,
I find Biden's
sure.
problem
Joe
with
Biden shouldn't
women
be
Yeah.
running.
very problematic
Yeah.
too. I think he's the worst of the front runners.
Sure.
I do not want to see him the head of the party. I think he's problematic because he's the same old, same old. I
Yeah.
think
I think
I
it's
think the
Hillary.
Democrats are making a huge
Yeah.
mistake promoting this.
See, at
Well,
the
I
end,
don't-
we're
I
I
gonna
would
be
rather see
depending
Bloomberg
on-
in that spot
Yeah,
than
I don't.
Biden. I mean,
At
I
the
do,
end, we're gonna
but,
end up-
but I do have a problem with Pelosi
Yeah.
because she has never made amends, renounced. And let me tell you something, whether she did it at 18 or 22, she was in her 30s and still comparing gay marriage to bestiality. So let's be real about
Yeah.
this.
Well, there's a
That
lot
gets
of-
people like
Yeah.
you and I
Yeah.
killed,
Mm.
raped,
Yeah.
assaulted. When you
Yeah.
spread homophobic slurs and all that, that is extremely dangerous. And somebody that just came off a memorial, I'm super sensitive about that.
Sure.
I can just tell you, fuck her. Fuck her. I cannot stand her. And she should not be eligible. I mean, as a Big Ten, it bothers me that Democrats even let her run. It
Well-
bothers me, honestly.
Well,
it really does.
And I mean, you just very, very incredible points, and that's the reason why I think it's just as important. That's for an example.
know, yeah.
The last thing I was going to talk about before we talk about the PACT Act was that the Latina advisor, the Latino or Latinx advisor, resigned this weekend for Biden. She resigned, saying that Biden is running his campaign exactly like Hillary did,
Wow.
and is just ignoring the Latinx community. All he's focusing on is white, rural, white, like we call bless your heart voters,
Yeah.
and older African American voters in South Carolina. That he's disregarding everyone else, and it was amplified last week or 2 weeks ago when he was in South Carolina, and one of the persons asked him if he's going to stop the raids, the ICE raids, and the deportations, and is he going to continue what Obama started, which actually Obama deported more people than Trump. We call him the deporter in chief.
Yeah.
And he got angry. He got kind of arrogant. He's kind of an old, grouchy man, and he said, "Vote for Trump."
Yeah.
And he just dismissed. And so that is exactly. But that's really the challenge that we have with the Democratic Party, that they do, unless you are gay, or unless you are a white woman, you're disregarded, because the belief is, who else are you going to vote for? You have no choice. You got to put up with me. And what we see is we just don't vote for you.
Yeah.
But
They
see,
stay
at
home.
the end,
Yeah.
I mean, if we're okay, every single candidate has some tail to be stepping on.
Yes.
Everyone. So at the end, what are we doing? Or we're just? I mean, I personally don't want Joe Biden. Personally, I don't.
I don't think he'll make it.
I hope not.
I don't think he'll
I
make
hope not. But then I hear about the Hawaiian. I mean, this is the first time
it.
I
Well, she
learned
won't
about
make
her.
it. But,
Yeah.
but she
I'm-
is.
you know-
she does have people who are anti-war that like her.
And that could put pressure.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in this run. So at the end, who are we gonna end up electing? Who are we gonna
Oh, we
end
have-
up?
I think there's some
Eating.
really good.
We have
I think-
plenty of candidates.
I'm not concerned. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not concerned because I always believe the more diversity you have in your primary,
Mm-hmm.
the more people get engaged, and whoever
Well-
is, we hate Trump so much that the goal is to beat Trump.
Well, and to me, I mean, and this is the
So he has
mistake.
unified our party.
Ish. I mean, but also too, I don't think we should just run on the fact that we're
Money talks.
anti-Trump. I think
Well, we can chew
Our
gum.
our
we
issues.
We can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Yeah.
You can run anti-Trump, but also talk about what we're doing in Congress. We're passing the PACT Act. We're passing. We're trying to lower the debt. The Democrats are the ones that are trying to make sure that we stop raising the debt. The debt is outrageous. It's
Yeah.
been with the Trump tax scheme. The debt has it's just incredible. We're actually trying to.
And it's hurting
we
the
adopted
low
rules in
income.
Congress when it turned Democrat in January that you could not propose any legislation unless it was paid for. It's called the pay-as-you-go standard, and they had made exceptions on certain things, but that is the standard or the rules in Congress. And so we flipped to be almost like the fiscal party, and we can still run on those because all we have to say is. Look at the Republicans; they're the ones that are raising the debt.
Yeah, I mean, we saw 2 trillion at one
Yeah.
time. Just like bam, all of a sudden, just hey, what's 2 trillion?
Right. So from a libertarian perspective, let me be clear: the Republicans are the borrow and spend party,
They're the new
and
one,
the
yes.
Democrats are the tax and spend.
That's
party.
true.
They're both big spenders.
Yeah.
They're both putting on big
Big spender.
big future tax liabilities for average Americans to ultimately pay.
All right. So on a bright note, let's talk about. Apparently, our journalist isn't calling it. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the passage. One of the great things that there's several things that unify us as a country. I know we all say that we're divisive and most divisive we've ever been in America's history, or that's what the term. But I'm sure they were during the Vietnam War.
Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. Yeah, Civil War.
I forgot about the little Civil War thing that we did
It was-
back in
it-
1860s.
What's a million people among friends?
I was watching.
We're mostly in Arkansas. It's no big deal.
I encourage people, if you want to binge watch something, go to Hulu and watch the show Blackish. It's an ABC show, and it's really funny. And they talk about issues that are really educational and important. And the mom's a doctor, and she was joining this women's right movement, the pink hats and all that kind of stuff, because she hated Trump. And she said, and they were trying to get this person elected, and they said all these white women were in the room, and they said, well, we want to do this. What's happening to women is the worst thing that ever happened in America. She goes, slavery? And like, well, that was different, and it was different perspectives.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah. I mean, or rounding up Native Americans and
Exactly.
Trail of Tears
Which-
and all that. We
which
kind
tomorrow-
of always forget about that.
Exactly. So, one of the things besides football and sports that bring us together, and the Olympics probably brings us together,
Sometimes.
right? Arts.
Well, I've got my
The
own.
arts.
I've got
They really brought us together in Charlotte.
I've got my
Put
own
some
pet
politicians
theory about
together, maybe.
The PACT Act passed and was signed by Trump. And to me, what was so amazing was it was signed by Trump, and he didn't make it about him. It's the first time he hasn't turned the signing ceremony into something about him, or, I'm glad I did this, whatever.
Yeah.
It is the Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act. It was signed into law Monday evening. It was a very important piece of legislation. It passed, and this is really interesting. The PACT Act criminalizes acts of cruelty such as animal crushing, burning, drowning, suffocating, impairing living non-human birds, reptiles, or amphibians. The law does not allow it in marketing, YouTube, because apparently there was this YouTube videos where people were like crushing animals.
Ew.
So yeah, it's disgusting.
Ew.
So this is something that the ASPCA and the Humane Society and it was Republicans, Democrats were trying to fix a loophole in a law that was passed 10 years ago. And it was something that everyone got together. The Humane Society said it perfectly. The president has just signed the PACT Act into law. We now have a federal anti-cruelty statute that will allow us to crack down on some of the worst and most malicious acts of animal cruelty. To me, the reason this is so important is because data shows that young men who kill and torture animals before the age of 18 have a higher percentage of being a serial killer.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that actually that has been talked about a
So
lot
now we
in
can-
pathology
Yeah.
and psychological profiles of serial killers and
Yeah.
mass murderers.
Sure.
I mean it's
Or the gambling about dogfighting.
Oh yes,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, God,
So that, yeah,
that's-
this
yeah.
actually would
They buy dogs to bait them also, to
Yes.
be bait,
It's disgusting.
stuff like that. So I do agree with that, Pat. But it hurts me when I read it yesterday and I seen some of the stuff. Okay, we are being more human, or more.
humane.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
We're being more human to dogs than to our own
Humans.
kids.
Yes.
You know what's
That's right.
going on right now. He signed something that yes, Nowadays, if I see your dog or I see you park in a parking lot and there's a dog in there, I have the right to break your window, damage your car to get that dog out. But if I break the car to get your baby out because you left them in there, I get convicted, I get accused. It's against the law. So we kind of have to kind of have a better balance about this.
It is.
You know, I love pets. I mean, I have animals, but I mean, come on, what is he doing against all those kids as well?
Yeah, I
As a
don't-
dog lover,
as a,
dog
as a
owner.
yeah, I mean,
a pedophile.
I mean, we have kids.
There's a big difference, just
We
so
have
you
kids
know.
on
You're not
those
wrong.
campuses.
A pet lover.
Pet lover, yeah.
We have
so-
those kids in
Yeah.
those campgrounds
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
being tormented, and not they having their parents around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
extremely inhumane.
let me just step back a second. I remember when I first ran for Congress, I think one of the very first surveys that I got was from the Humane Society, and it was a pretty intimidating questionnaire and went into a lot of detail about stuff. And I just kind of zoned out because I thought, oh, it's, you know, the Humane Society, I've got pets, I don't know if I want to
Animals.
deal with these issues.
Yeah.
And so I never really filled it out, but I think I'm going to go back and look at it and see, because it's been, I guess, a year and a half, and they've been somehow successful working behind the scenes
Yeah,
to get
they're
this
very.
to get this passed, and I think it does. It really does touch a nerve in
Sure,
everybody.
it does.
But you know, I think we want to think about what some of the side effects might be, and I haven't really thought through it.
Yeah.
But the idea that people can sort of rat on their neighbors or whatever for and snitch on people for these. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
witness, right? It's
Sure.
going to be he said,
Yeah.
or she said, or whatever. So how that's going to play out in the enforcement? I mean, is there going to be a Department of Doggy Security? You know, I mean, how is this going to be enforced? Right? How is this going to play out? And so it concerns me a little bit that people will use this power of the federal government, which comes down pretty hard. I mean, right now we've got these. If you talk, and I don't even want to think about this idea of crushing, you know, but to hope that it stamps that out
Sure.
and prohibits people who lack any kind of empathy for other
For pets,
not living creatures. For them to not thrive and prosper in our society, that's all a good thing. But
But I think
so
also
what's the downside?
Sure.
What
Yeah.
could happen?
you when you have blatant, I think the law enforcement's going to get involved when you have blatant evidence. I think
Yeah.
Sure.
as
This
somebody
is just a tool they can use now.
is one of the issues with hate crimes, and I'll tie this in with hate crimes
Yes.
in general. Because I think when you torture and kill animals, I think it's a hate crime as well. And when you have hate crimes, you have to have the laws in place to be able to prosecute it as a hate crime, which can be
Correct.
prosecuted differently.
I wonder-
And so in the same way with this, if you see blatant evidence, like it's been uploaded on YouTube, and
Right, right.
there's no way, like you're watching this animal being tortured to death till it dies.
Yeah.
You have more preponderance of evidence to be able to take it into a courtroom and actually win, and especially with federal prosecutors that have a 95% win rate, they do have to have the ability to win,
Sure.
and if they got to have the laws in place to be able to address this, because this is a new phenomenon. When
Yeah.
you think about YouTube, it's not.
I didn't
old.
even know there was such a thing as
Yeah,
crushing
I would have
or-
never watched
yeah,
something like that.
until
In fact,
saw
I would have reported that to YouTube.
Yeah.
But YouTube can't do anything either, other than shut their channel off.
Correct.
Yeah.
But they don't have, they're a private business, so they don't have any, authority other than giving it to the police, and the police can go,
Yeah.
it's a crackpot making, a horrific video, but we've got human crimes that we got to deal with.
I do think
So,
that.
but it does worry me a little bit that
Yeah.
anytime you give the federal government a lot of power,
Mhm.
the federal government doesn't always have a history of doing the right thing.
Correct.
That's right.
Sure.
And so that does scare me a little bit.
That's
I
right.
mean,
And
I mean,
that I think is the kind of general libertarian instinct that we all share.
Sure.
Small L libertarian, like give the federal government this power. We want them to do something right. Are there going to be some unintended consequences, some repercussions?
Like, am I
Is this-
gonna- am I
how is this going
Am
to
I
be
going to get in
used?
trouble for hooking a worm when I fish?
I don't think worms are protected, but Yeah, there
Well-
might be a worm lobby.
Well, just don't video it. You know, just don't
Yeah,
leave
I
a video
think that's
trail.
true.
I mean, honestly, I
Or a
think
snake. You know how there's a snake season,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
know
I caught a
people-
snake in the
Yeah.
yard
My
yesterday.
son caught one, and he was trying. He didn't know what kind of were they. I had to go and look
Look it
and
up,
stuff.
yeah, because you don't want
Because
to
he
kill
wanted
the
to
snakes.
kill. He killed
Yeah.
it. He
Okay.
literally killed
Okay,
it
so
without knowing.
here's a question, just because I saw a headline the other day about Texas.
Mm.
Okay, so
those
bushes.
hogs.
The hogs.
Oh my God!
The feral hogs.
That's like
Yeah.
a Silence of the Lamb,
Mhm.
like
Yeah. Well, do you know
Cannibal.
the story?
Yes.
Okay,
This
tell
lady-
the story.
this lady's
because
a
I
caretaker.
just saw the headline.
This lady's a caretaker. They live in the country. She was leaving her house to go to the job at the older person that she takes care of, and she left about 6 a.m, I believe, or something around there.
Mhm.
And she was attacked by feral hogs,
Mhm.
and they killed her.
yeah.
And they said they must have been different sizes because of the size of the bites.
Bites.
So when she didn't show up to her caretaker, the caretaker went to her home and found her
Yeah.
on the ground. Is
Yeah.
that just crazy?
That is crazy.
Well, no, feral hogs will do that. I mean, I a friend of mine that lived in Crosby
Chancla?
County.
Sure.
Yeah, keep your
Keep your
Chancla
chocolate.
will travel. You know,
well,
but
in this,
but
you have
they'll-
to have a gun in the
Yeah.
country. Yeah.
yeah, because he would be out on the ranch, and sometimes he would get out of his jeep and walk the lines and look over some things. And he had hogs. They're smart enough to flank you too.
Yeah.
So one of the things is they
Oh,
have
that's
a
a
high order
horrible
of
But
thing.
see,
their
hogs won't do that.
thinking.
These are called feral hogs.
Hogs
They're
will eat
wild
anything.
hogs.
First of all,
They're-
domestic. I mean,
They're-
if
they're
you want to
not-
make a
yeah.
body disappear, you throw a body into a hog
This is like
pit.
an episode of
They'll
Hannibal.
eat anything.
Anything.
They eat bones. They eat everything.
Wow.
You sound like you know
I-
that from experience.
Don't piss me off.
Did you hear that?
Way-
Clue? You want to disappear a body.
Way better than a psycho line. I'm just saying.
You want to
Just saying.
disappear a body?
It's
I'm
just
give
pretty
it to
sure
the hog
Jimmy
farm.
Hoffa probably ended up at a hog farm rather than a giant stadium.
this is just
saying.
this is just something you learned on the internet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Learned it for a friend.
A friend asked, "How do you get rid of a body? Feed it to hogs." All right, I'm not going to be able to eat
I
bacon
like
tomorrow.
that.
now.
So,
Oh.
here's Biggie Biggie. It's a revenge. Like, we're so pro the hogs anyway. I mean, between the game Angry Birds and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's time for the hogs to take over.
Yep.
All right,
I think we have one in the White House right now.
We
I
want to
think
think.
we can
Angry
drink to
Birds
that.
too.
Let's
Let's toast to that.
Let's toast to
Mazel
that.
tov.
Hogs
Don't
on
eat
that-
hog
piggies.
takeover.
On
As
that
a
note,
vegan,
we're
I
going
don't
to
eat
switch to
piggies.
something light since we only have about 12 minutes left.
All
in
right,
the
before
show.
we switch,
Yes.
let's say
This
hi
wasn't
to
live.
Philip.
I fill up.
Hi,
Hey,
Philip. All the
Philip.
way to Texas, I think.
Yes, Texas. Watch out
Tilly,
for the hogs.
Yeah.
On your date.
Or you want to disappear a body.
Wow. Wow.
That was a touchdown.
Wow.
Hey,
Go Christmas present for Christian.
we want to say hi to Tuli Lacrosse. Also, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
joining
joining
me.
us. Sean Thompson was joining us earlier. I want to thank everyone who's joining us. So what I want to end this show, because we're not going to read the constitutional quote of the week because we forgot to decide which one we're going to read.
It's Thanksgiving.
suck.
It's a
I
pre-Thanksgiving
would
day.
like for us to go around without crying
Oh Lord, don't start.
and tell us what you're thankful for.
He says without crying, he's already
And he's
struggling.
already tearing up over there. Like, we gotta slap him with a chocolate here. I'm still laughing about the chocolate show. I mean,
Yeah.
we literally did a show
All
about
right,
nothing.
exactly.
Literally, it was the best show ever.
So, who wants to start?
Oh Lord.
What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful to be alive. I mean, I'm thankful there's somebody that survived suicide, and thankful for my Charlotte family and the people in my life that support me and uplift me
Yep.
and allow me to be radically different, to give me the comfort and space to be radically different and still accept me for who I am, including Jeff. And I truly, it's been an amazing ride. I actually do a gratitude journal every day. And one of the reasons I do after my suicide, I realized
From you. I'm thankful because God blessed me with a granddaughter this
Yeah.
year. She's 2 months old today.
All right.
And after having all boys, no sisters, only brothers, only sons, she has been my little sunshine. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful because I have a family. I have a roof over my head. I'll have food tomorrow on my table and share it with whoever wants to join us. And because I know a lot of people are suffering right now in a hospital bed, in jail. Families are being separated. Kids are wondering where their parents are at. So I am very grateful to have all of y'all as my friends as well. What else can I say? I mean, we're almost a year old here at Coffee and Pan Dulce, and we have stand, and we're going for more in 2021. So I'm hoping, 2020. Hello.
2020.
I'm getting
Fast
so
forward,
bad.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to meet. We met Barbara this year.
That's right, Barbara.
A great person, and I'm hoping that we can do a closing of the year
Yes.
show and see what we can come up with. So I'm grateful.
A New Year's party.
Yes.
You wanna
we
go
have
next?
To do one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it short.
Uh-oh. That's what she
Get
said.
your noise.
Um, you know, my daughter's traveling to Philadelphia.
Oh.
She flew out yesterday, so she'll be there for a week, and it's one of her first little travel alone trips.
Mm.
Well, that's
So I'm thankful for her sense of independence.
Just that age.
It's fine.
well. I think we have a lot to be thankful for, all of us, and I think, you know, with everything that's going on, and one of the reasons I think we all, you know, love the holiday seasons is, I know for some people holiday seasons are very
Very
stressful.
sad. Yes.
You know, and I do think that I hope if anyone who's watching us or anyone who knows us, that we hope that what we've said, or may not agree with us, or you know, all the time or whatever, but at least we have the ability to sit around the table as neighbors and laugh and joke and cry. And talk about things that are important to us. But I think we all have so much to be thankful for. Even though I am not a Trump fan, I think he happened for a reason.
Yeah. Brought us together.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think he, you know, unfortunately was the thorn that we needed to re-examine what's important. You know,
I think
I wouldn't have run for office unless he was running.
And I
Correct.
think he highlighted. I think a president. And this is not the only president we've had in our history like
Sure.
him. I think Nixon did a lot of that too. That very defined the flaws of our country. Clinton did that a little bit too. I mean, there was definitely some flaws in the Bill Clinton presidency. Jimmy Carter, we had some flaws with his presidency, and some challenges. You know, he was a much better humanitarian out of office than he was as a president in a lot
Bill
of
Clinton?
ways.
Jimmy Carter.
Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Bill Clinton too.
Did he
I
get
mean,
better?
Bill Clinton.
Because I know
Bill
he was in
Clinton.
the hospital. Did he get better?
Yeah.
Okay,
He couldn't
cool.
stay off roofs.
Well,
Bill Clinton, I mean, became a much better humanitarian after office than in office.
Yeah.
He actually ran the country a lot more conservatively, and I think we kind of forget things too. I think our country, we got to remember that we are all under the same roof. We are
Correct.
neighbors. We are family. That we all were immigrants here at one time, which is what started Thanksgiving. Is that the white British immigrants landed on the shore, and
There's
the
two
Native
stories
Americans
of that,
there,
isn't
yeah.
it? Because
Oh,
a lot of
there's
people don't celebrate Thanksgiving because of the slavery and all the.
Well, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
There's a
So,
lot of
yeah.
problematic things, you know, but to their downfall,
Mm-hmm.
they helped those white people. You know, they probably should have let them starve. You know, and you know how different would North America be? But I I think we always have to remember at the end of the day, we still have to live with each other.
Yeah.
And when we divide ourselves so much, because there's so many things we can. There's some very libertarian things also.
Yeah.
Like, I do always fear the power of the federal government because the federal government has affected my life so much.
Yeah.
But
Not
it's
only with
also
my-
helped us.
It's
Yeah.
helped us and hurt us at the same time. And, you know, it hurt my dad, for
And
example.
it
in
helps
the
only the
Vietnam.
strong, you know,
Yeah.
that can survive that. Because
Yeah.
some can't survive it.
Well, and the question continues to be, how do we channel that power for good, or
Yeah.
how do we limit it?
And
Right.
balance it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think within life, whether it's your personal life, professional life, or political life,
Mhm.
life is a balance. That was one of my mentors when I first started transitioning. She said, "You have to find that balance, and that balance always shifts. It's a moving target. It's never, you're never going to get to that promised land of any part of your life and say, I've made it.
Correct.
The only time you get there is when you die, is when you pass away, and you have no more challenges ahead of you.
Hey, we have a viewer all the way from Chicago.
Oh,
So
hello.
hi Rigo,
Hello.
thank you for watching.
How are
Thanks
you?
for saying great show. Join us every Wednesday at
Yes.
10. We're here.
I love
And-
Chicago. by
And
the
on
way.
that note,
Fun town.
I think we're going to end the show because we want to value your time. And once again, this is our 50th show. I am so thankful that we were able to do this consistently for 50 weeks.
That's pretty amazing.
Is that incredible?
Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to take a 2-week
By
hiatus
ourselves,
at the end
no professional producer. By ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta give a hand to
Yes.
Kano because I mean
Yeah.
he does all the cameras, all the wiring, making
And
sure
anyone
our voices
Takes
are
care of the
heard.
signs.
Hey, anyone who's ever been to our house knows that this has to all be back in place after the show.
It returns to being
That-
a full house.
It has to be.
And he's a clean freak, so
Yes, he is.
So
OCD.
that's right. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we do hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. However you celebrate it, I also want to thank all of those working class and working poor
Yes.
people who actually have to work on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Those who have to spend time away from their family.
Yep.
I want to thank you for what you do.
especially
because
restaurants. You know, sometimes they have to be
Restaurants.
open because there's people that don't have a family to
Groceries,
spend Thanksgiving.
Harris Teeter, I think, is open
Yep.
until probably like
Walmart.
7 or 6
6
o'clock.
o'clock.
Walmart reopens in the evening.
There's
Yep.
a lot of
Movie theaters.
Oh, yeah.
servers who are in bars and stuff will be working for people who don't have family or
Well, you know, in the
Who'll be
hotel
joining
restaurant
tequila.
business.
It's 24/7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
24/7. So
Yeah.
those are the people that I really I'm so thankful for because
Mhm.
they allow us, and we have to not forget them
Correct.
because so many times we forget
Gas stations.
The
If
world
I
is
run out of
24/7.
the gas station, I have to stop. Yeah.
exactly.
And
There's
a lot of them. It ties right back to your
exactly,
shirt.
immigrants. You
Turns
know,
right back to your
my
shirt.
dad on Thanksgiving, huge Thanksgiving. There's a little gas station around the corner from him that is owned by an immigrant family, and they're
Mm.
open Thanksgiving. I think they must make all their money on that day.
Yeah.
And every year, my dad forgets orange juice, and every year someone has to go out and buy it. It's like $6 for like little bitty
Mhm.
containers, and they make all you
Yeah.
got to buy all the orange
Yeah.
juice. So they're smart. I mean,
Yeah.
they
That's right. I mean, because it's such
Yeah.
a traveled holiday,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of the people in
They're
the
suffering. Their
transportation,
family.
airlines
To
and bus
serve us.
stations and
Yes.
everywhere else, they're
Correct.
out there and they're on the roads and they're in the skies and,
Yep.
and they're working hard to make it so it's nice.
exactly. So
Correct.
thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to have a very exciting December show. We have only about 3 shows in December. We have a
Woo.
presidential candidate that will be on the show, which is yay! We're gonna have to
Exciting.
get we actually have to
Be
act-
very,
act-
very
act
respectful,
properly.
guys.
Hey,
Okay,
just-
now,
I'm excited
Just
now.
hint in
I mean,
advance.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I mean that's
Yeah.
that's a good get to have. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, kudos to Jeff for bringing
Yeah.
this.
Jeff's
So
a-
now y'all know
we're-
this is
we're
not a
trying to-
small little show.
Yeah.
This is going big.
Yeah, that's
This this place is classy now.
Woohoo!
We're decent people.
This town done gone crazy.
Yeah.
That is- that is
And the other big surprise,
Yes.
Uh-oh.
he's from Texas.
Woo!
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
exciting.
Don't mess with Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Texas.
All right.
Woo!
On that note, we're going to end the show.
Yeah.
Tell us where you're going to be if you want to, and then we will see you next Wednesday on this show. Same bat time, same
Same
bat
bat
channel.
Same coffee? No, not same coffee.
I've got 2 Thanksgiving celebrations I'm going to tomorrow, and
It's down.
I'm going to be probably cooking quite a bit today and all that. So
Woo!
I'm
You doing any brisket?
I'm vegan, sweetie. And
I was
eat
planning
fake
to do a
brisket.
brisket. Oh.
No meat for this girl.
Aww.
At least no.
Okay,
No,
so-
There's a family show. There's a family show.
It's a family show.
Ruth, where are you gonna?
Touchdown.
Mama Ruth, where are you gonna
I
be?
brought joggers because I gotta go back home and start doing my baking. I already prepped my turkey this morning,
Wow.
so I'll be cooking, and then hopefully we're planning to go to the mountains over the weekend. I hope we make it if weather allows us with the baby. So
Yeah.
y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Don't let anybody fool you. She didn't go play with that bagger.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Bruce, the fabulous wonder dog.
Oh,
We're
wow.
Gonna go out and celebrate the Pact Act.
Awesome.
Oh, excellent.
And I'm going to be extra nice to him because I don't want him ratting me out.
Yeah.
Jeff, you want to plug that behind you once again?
Sorry? Yeah. Also, after this week is ATC, the Great American Trailer Park Christmas musical. It's a very, very funny show. You will laugh, you'll cry. It will not ever become part of you. But it's a fantastic show.
All right. On that note, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Safe
Where are you gonna
travel.
be? You never said.
I will be stuffing my face watching the Dallas Cowboys.
Woo!
I didn't know Dallas still had a football team.
Whatever.
Oh!
All
We
right.
have the best cheerleaders, though.
Bye.
Yes.